do intend to ask each juror that general question. If each of them indicate no, nothing further, then I will take the verdict on the counts they have reached a decision on and declare a mistrial as to count 1, which would then necessitate a move to count 2. And comments from the people?
Your Honor, I appreciate the court's because we're going to be having conversations with the jurors that would be reiterated that no filming for this portion.
Yeah, all our right. Okay. Let's bring the 12 jurors in. Let's make sure the foreperson has the verdict form with them. guilty on count 1 are not willing to change their position, we feel that further deliberation would be pointless. Is that accurate?
Yes.
For the group, is that accurate?
Yes.
Yes. Everyone's indicating yes. Okay, so I'm going to ask each one of you the same question. It's actually multiple questions in one. If any of these things you believe would be helpful, let me know. Pardon me? Yes. Is there anything further? I'm just asking juror number 1 right now. We'll go down the line all the way. Is there anything further closing argument on a specific issue from the attorneys? Any clarification of the law by me? Any questions that you have of the court that you think would be of assistance in reaching a unanimous verdict? 2?
No.
3? No. 4? No. 5? No. 6? 7?
No.
8?
No.
9?
No.
10?
No.
11? 12? Counsel satisfied?
Yes.
You have reached a verdict as to counts 3 and 4. Is that accurate?
Yes.
You hand the verdict form to our bailiff, and we'll take the verdict on those 2 counts. I know you've had multiple days deliberating, so the one thing I'll just need you to do is even though you didn't fill out anything for count 1 because we know why, we just need a date on that first page. So we'll hand that back. Do you have a pen with you?
I know.
We'll give you a pen. Our bailiff has one. You just fill in the date. Today's date is the 18th.
Just on the first page.
Yes. And you can give the verdict form to the secretary.
Superior Court of California, County of Kern Metropolitan Division. The people of the state of California versus Maya Hernandez, case BF 205702A, verdict. Bakersfield, California, December 18, 2025. Third count. We, the jury, impaneled to try the above entitled case, find the defendant, Maya Hernandez, guilty of child abuse likely to produce great bodily harm or death of Emilio G. in violation of Section 273A, paren A of the Penal Code as charged in the third count of the information. Signed, foreperson. Finding on Penal Code Section 12022.95, death of a child. We, the jury, impaneled to try the above entitled case, find it to be true that Emilio G. died as a result of the crime charged in count 3. Signed, foreperson. Fourth count. We, the jury, impaneled to try the above entitled case, find the defendant, Maya Hernandez, guilty of child abuse likely to produce great bodily harm or death of Mateo G. in violation of Section 273A, paren A of the Penal Code as charged in the fourth count of the information. Signed, foreperson.
Thank you. For the jury, is that your verdict that has just been read?
Yes.
Would either side like me to pull?
No, thank you.
Any legal reason why the court should not accept the verdict that has been reached?
No.
Court does accept the verdict, will lodge it, and declaring a mistrial as to count 1, which then necessitates a mistrial as to count 2 being a lesser included offense. So for the jurors, I have one final jury instruction for you, and then we'll have you return briefly back to the jury room, and then after that, you'll be free to go. You have now completed your jury service in this case. On behalf of everyone involved in this trial, thank you for your time and your effort. Now that the case is over, you may choose whether or not you wish to discuss the case and your deliberations with anyone that you want. I remind you that under California law, you must wait at least 90 days before negotiating or agreeing to accept any payment for information about the case. Let me tell you about some rules the law puts in place for your convenience and protection. The lawyers in this case, the defendant, or their representatives may now talk to you about the case, including your deliberations or verdict. Those discussions must occur at a reasonable time and place and only with your consent. Please tell me immediately if anyone unreasonably contacts you without your consent. Anyone who violates the rules violates a court order and may be fined. I now order that the court's record of your personal juror identifying information, including your names, addresses, and telephone numbers, be sealed until further order of this court. If in the future the court is asked to decide whether that information would be released, notice would then be sent to any juror whose information is involved. You may oppose the release of the information, and you may ask that any hearing on the release be closed to the public. The court would then decide whether and under what conditions any information may be disclosed. I want to thank you again for your service. This is a very difficult subject matter in this case, and each of you were willing to serve as jurors, and we commend you for that. And wish you all happy holidays with your families. Good new year. This time you are officially excused, but we'll have you step back briefly into the jury room, and then we'll excuse you from there. Okay? See you in just a couple minutes. In this case, counsel can have a seat. In this case, we do have a conviction on 2 counts plus the finding as to count 3 of death, and that would necessitate obviously a report from probation. We do not know at this point whether the people intend to retry counts 1 and or 2. Do counsel wish this to be set for a sentencing date or for an intermediate status date, or you want to wait a couple minutes while the 2 of you talk and let me know?
I think we're both in agreement for a status date, Your Honor.
Correct. Okay. Can we do that in January?
Yes.
Sure.
How about January 12th, Monday?
That's fine for the people.
Fine for the defense.
We have another trial, but we're darkening that trial that day, which gives plenty of time to talk about whatever you
I may be sent out in another trial, and I know.
Whatever trial you're sent out in, they'll need to be dark.
I understand.
Okay. Right. So we'll set it for status only as to whether counts 1 and 2 will be retried, and or setting a sentencing date for January 12th, 8:30 here in Department 4. Ms. Hernandez, you have a right to be sentenced within a statutory period of time and to go to trial if those counts are retried within a statutory time. At this time, do you agree to waive time to January 12th plus 60 court days for sentencing and or retrial? Counsel Joint?
Counsel Jones.
Is that acceptable with the people?
Yes.
Okay. And you will remain in custody at this time with bail as previously set. And that ends our proceedings for today. We'll have the audience next.